Hi, frienderinos. How was your weekend? Welcome back to Hot News, where we're bringing you the latest tech news that's been going on in the realms of the world. And I'm your host, Brett. We're going to get into why Cyberpunk sucks to run on AMD processors, as well as apparently Nvidia just hates integral reviewers. Integrity filled? Is that how I say it? And Tesla is shutting down production of its Model S and Model X. We'll get into all of that after we talk about today's video sponsor.
Magic shirt changing fire.
Dr. Squatch, my friends. I don't want to tell you how to smell. I don't want to tell you how to do your shower routine, but I will confess that I smell like my wife. That's because I use whatever soap she buys at the store, and so I end up smelling like my wife, which isn't necessarily a problem. She smells great, mind you, but I don't have a distinguishing scent of my own. Now, Dr. Squatch is helping me smell distinct and like a man with all of their unique flavors. Flavors? What? It's not something you eat. They're scents, they're fragrances, which not only smell great, but are also way better than the soap that you're traditionally used to using because they're made with natural ingredients, it doesn't have harsh chemicals, and it's a cold pressed, hand cut soap that's actually good for your skin. They have so many different fragrances. Amongst my favorite are the grapefruit IPA, the bay rum, as well as the cedar citrus. I love all of those, and I will make special mention of the cool fresh aloe because, as weird as this reminds me of Reece. This smells exactly like Reece, and Reece had a scent, and that's cool fresh aloe. So if any of our subscribers want to smell Reece, that's the way to do that. So get some Dr. Squatch for yourself, my friends. Use the link in the video description and coupon code UFDTech to save 20% off and a free shipping with them. Dr. Squatch, smell good, do good for your skin, squatch it up. I don't think that's their tagline.
More magic shirt changing fire.
Okay, let's talk about why Cyberpunk is anus to run on your AMD processor. And allegedly, well, not allegedly anymore, after digging into the code, people found out that the reason why it looks like your 5950X with 16 cores is performing la butt is because CD Projekt Red coded it to work on Bulldozer. Yeah, the game that started development 8 years ago apparently never updated code for more modern processors from AMD, including the Ryzen one. So it was actually based on those like really fake cores that AMD had back in the day and not actual simultaneously multi-threaded cores that currently exist right now. So yeah, AMD is bad to play on. However, there are some unofficial fixes that have come out from modders. You can check the links in the video description in case you are playing on like a 3600 or, you know, a 1200. It doesn't matter. Any Ryzen chip is probably struggling if it has multi-threading. Does the 1200 have multi-thread? I'm not 100% sure. But you can see here over on Nexus Mods, it's the most popular mod for Cyberpunk right now to fix that because yeah, you're missing a lot of CPU performance. You're becoming CPU bottlenecked when you have the fastest gaming CPU on the market in your 5700X, 5800X, whatever the numbers are. It's confusing, my friends. Anyways, that's why it was designed for Bulldozer. CD Projekt Red never updated it. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is such a mess of a launch. And CD Projekt Red came out and acknowledged as much, especially due to the fact that it sucks to play on the original PS4 as well as Xbox One, and they're working to make sure that you can get full refunds for that in case you're not satisfied, which from what I've seen, it's going to be hard for you to be satisfied with the way it is. They're also saying that they're going to come out with 2 large packages to fix most of the issues in January and February, so essentially just wait till March to play this game. However, that's not currently what's happening because Cyberpunk helped Steam set its most concurrent players ever. It had over 1 million players on Steam, but Steam had 24.8 million people on the application at one time, which beats the record that was set by the lockdowns in March. So, I mean, Cyberpunk seems to be a massive failure in certain regards, especially from a technical like completedness, but then other people just really don't care and are playing it anyways and setting records with it. Are you on either side? Have you been in between enjoying Cyberpunk somewhere? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm keen to hear from you. But you know, Nvidia wasn't keen to hear from Hardware Unboxed and the fact that they didn't do anything wrong. I'm not sure if you heard about this saga. It's been resolved over the weekend, but Hardware Unboxed put out this tweet, which they said that Nvidia contacted them and let them know that unless they changed their editorial practices, they would not be getting any more review samples of Founders Editions from Nvidia directly, to which Hardware Unboxed and honestly the rest of the tech industry, you what, mate? The big issue was that Hardware Unboxed is focusing on rasterization over ray tracing and DLSS, which in fact they're not, because they produce tons of content on those things. And even Nvidia themselves quoted Hardware Unboxed on their own website promoting DLSS Anyways, kind of ridiculous, kind of slaps every reviewer who has some integrity in the face and says that unless you follow what we want you to say in our reviews, which are supposed to be non-biased, well, then you can't get cards from us, which is obviously malarkey and hogwash, and basically calls into question anybody who does get samples from Nvidia into question, because then are they just towing the company line? Are they making sure that they're keeping the overlords happy? Well, after the outrage and subsequent videos from Linus, as well as Jay's 2 cents and a bunch of other people, and apparently people reaching out to their Nvidia contacts, Hardware Unboxed is now brought back into the fold, and Nvidia apologized for the way that they communicated and try to strong arm Hardware Unboxed into not doing reviews the way that they wanted, even though they were doing it the way that they wanted. It doesn't make any sense. Which is essentially the conclusion that Steve from Hardware Unboxed came to, is that it doesn't make any sense. It seems a little ridiculous, doesn't really play with how Nvidia normally does things, and feels really off. And the thought just has to go through people's heads of, will Nvidia try to pull this again when nobody else is looking, just like they did with the GeForce Partner Program, where they made it so that like companies like Asus and MSI had to spin off their AMD gaming lineups because only Nvidia could be gaming if they wanted marketing money from Nvidia. Do we not remember that happening a few years ago? Because it did, and this just feels exactly like the same thing until the community comes together and says, hey, Nvidia, stop it. And then Nvidia goes like, oh, you noticed. Would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for your crime to kids. I don't remember how Scooby-Doo went. Anyways, so Nvidia fixed it. Good job. You still suck. I never got review samples from them in the first place, so let's move on. Let's talk about the PlayStation 5 smashed console records, the biggest launch in US history, as well as helping November 2020 to smash the gaming number record sales money being brought in, $1.4 billion in November for the gaming industry. And then also, we talked about this last week, Spider-Man Miles Morales got a ray tracing performance update to bring ray tracing plus 60 FPS together on the console. Now the Spider-Man Remaster also got that as well, which it just looks beautiful. I turned it on my Spider-Man Remaster, and gorgeous. Now I want to talk about this because essentially the 14-year-old Intel Celeron being pushed to 8.3 gigahertz is akin to what you get on console gaming. Anyways, the reason I'm bringing this up is not because it set a record, because the record for apparently a Celeron overclock is 8.5 gigahertz, which is insane. It's because the dude who did it at work in his cubicle. Holy crap. Good job, man. That's an insane overclock, and it's also super insane given the circumstances of where it was done. And what was done is NVIDIA's GA102 die has been IR photographed. You can check the link in the video description to see it and get more information about it in case you care about the details underlying that. And the details underlying the overtaking of Codemasters has come to a new turn because it was alleged that Take-Two Interactive was going to be taking up Codemasters, who makes the Dirt series. Well, now it seems like EA is coming in and slap down a higher bid, and now EA wants Codemasters, and they can't just be content to ruin Need for Speed. They gotta ruin Dirt too. And Google ruined the world because their services went down yesterday for 30 minutes. I don't know if you were affected by it. Thankfully, it happened before I was actually needing to use their services. But 35 minutes Google went down. They make like $2,300 a second. It's insane. So they lost a ton of cash. Obviously, tons of businesses would be disrupted, especially in the age that we are with remote working and all of that. Yikes. There's a worldwide outage too. And there's going to be an outage, or a pause rather, of Tesla producing the Model S and the Model X for 18 days from December 24th to January 11th. It's not really noted why. Tesla not really coming out and saying it, but it does appear that it's just because the Model 3 and the Model Y are more popular, and they're trying to get those out the door rather than trying to produce these fancy, expensive, high margin things that not very many people are ordering, allegedly. While Tesla's shutting down their production, it looks like Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft are all banding together to shut down online nonsense when it comes to online gaming. They're all coming together with their shared commitment to safer gaming. Amongst the first priorities that they communicate, it has nothing to do with like banning people and trying to shut down what's said, but rather giving people the options and customizations to make sure that they're never put into place, or their children are put into place, where they actually can encounter things that would not be appropriate for their age, or for any person really, whether it's harassment or yelling or just really rude stuff that says like, you suck at COD. I know it. I need this. And while it seems like the major console players are coming together, merging together and uniting, it doesn't look like that's happening on the streaming services. So this is just a reminder to you that The Office is leaving Netflix on December 31st and joining Peacock. on January 1st. That's such a terrible name for a streaming service. Come on, NBC, you can do better than that. Apparently, there's a few things that are coming to Peacock with The Office, like extended clips or super fan episodes, as they mentioned, where it's things that were left on the cutting room floor being added back in. There's a link in the video description in case you want to see the example. But only the first 2 seasons are going to be free, and then you have to pay for the Peacock, or the Peacock's going to come flying for you. Peacocks fly? They can sort of fly. Okay, dope. And Oppo wants to fly so high to the sun and not get burnt like Icarus, because they are coming out with a weird slide phone concept. It has 3 different screen options for you. You got this guy, you got this guy, and then you got this guy where it does the slidey, slither, snake stuff. Oh boy, that's awkward to look at. What's also awkward to look at is this video right here, a conceptual vocal synthesizer of teeth, of moving teeth. You should watch this video. It's disturbing and amazing at the same time. Disturbing. That doesn't work. I should stop talking. And we should stop denying the existence of Planet 9, because we now got confirmation from another Jovian planet out in, I think it's 336 light years away, that it has an orbit that would be funky, that could actually coincide with how people think Planet 9 should exist. And I just have to say, with all this space stuff that's going on with Planet 9, conspiracy theory time. I knew about Planet Nibiru like decades ago, all right? I'm 30, 20 years ago, I was hearing about this Planet X, right? And everybody was like, nah, that can never happen. And now that I'm an adult and I'm 30, we got rid of Pluto, and I'm just hearing all about like, no, that could actually be real, and here are the calculations to prove it, and it's real science, and I can't handle it, because it feels like my conspiracy worlds and my reality worlds are colliding, and which one's real? Okay. Did I take the red pill or the blue pill? Those are my headphones. Where's Keanu? I need Keanu to guide me through this. Oh boy. Well, that's gonna end this episode of Hot News. Why don't you hit the like button if you enjoyed it? If not, you just don't. We're not here. You want. It's not good for you to be here. Hit subscribe if you want to get more tech news throughout the week, as we do here. And don't forget about today's video sponsor. I'm going to collide with some Dr. Squatch soap later on when I shower. You should too. Check it out at the link in the video description. Use coupon code UFDTech to save 20% and get free shipping. That's going to wrap it up. I'm Brett. You've been newsed. Contact a doctor if that lasts for more than 10 minutes. Bye.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony. F you, Tony. What's your name? Ezekiel! F you, Ezekiel! F you!